And I will use every ounce of my being to ruin your life.
My new obsession is your destruction.
Ruin your life. Ruin your life. Ruin your life.
Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS.
And the Sriracha Muchacha, Paloma Star.
And we brought our favorite Chicago queen, Logan Zass, back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes.
Popular demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you guys wanted me back, so DS got me back just like that.
Later in our news and rumor episode, there was so much tea.
To everybody that was saying, why didn't you unhook her arms? Her answer was, there's more to the story. I'd like to know.
A bunch of cheap, interchangeable, expendable, useless women.
And I thought, Logan, you would be perfect guest for this
I
episode.
love tea. So.
This is our go-home show for Money in the Bank, the weirdest Money in the Bank show ever. Climbing the headquarters building, and then they have to climb up the ladder.
Did I miss this last week? I had no idea that the men and the women's matches are going to be happening at the same time.
So that was just announced on SmackDown.
Oh.
I didn't get that either. I was like, how?
Me neither.
We'll see.
And you know the other thing that I keep plugging? That someone's gonna fall off the building.
I had a feeling of that too. I was just like, so we're gonna have to climb at the top and it's just like open air. It's just like, okay.
Who do you think will fall off the building?
Nia.
Dana Brooke. She gives me stunt woman vibes.
I love Nia, but I'm like, girl, don't fuck it up. She fell off the chair yesterday, so her stool, whatever she was sitting on, they kicked her off.
I knew there was a reason why she was sitting in that small ass chair. Like, why do they get the big old loungy, awesome couches at the VIP lounge, and then Nia has to sit in this tiny chair?
Well, I mean, it was kind of like she didn't want to sit with Shayna and Asuka.
You can't sit with us.
Let's start from SmackDown. We had Mandy Rose versus Carmella, the Money in the Bank qualifier match. Let's start from Mandy Rose. So backstage, Mandy has some interaction with Otis, and she was talking about, I'm gonna win this. I'm not gonna care about Sonya Deville.
Well, the interview itself, it's very cute because we kind of get to see Mandy and Otis, like their relationship blossoming and how they're trying to become this one force, and he wanted to win his match and she wanted to go and win hers. So it was really good build up, and I feel like Mandy doesn't really get a lot of talking time. So it's good. It's building up the story, which I'm living for.
I think having her do backstage interviews gives her a little bit more depth to her character, at least, because I don't think she talks enough for us to really obviously we know who Mandy Rose is, but really get to know her and kind of find her tendencies and stuff like that. So I'm all for giving her more.
And the moment she talked about how she's not going to be distracted by Sonya Deville, we know she's going to be distracted by Sonya Deville because exactly that's what happened. Before Sonya interrupted, should we talk about a match a little bit?
The match was fine. It was a little bit short. I actually think it was more of a setup for a distraction for Sonya Deville and to continue that storyline more than an actual match. Carmella taking advantage of any situation that she's thrown in. Why go wrestle 10 minutes when you can do the same thing in 2? The one weird thing that I thought was I didn't know what Mandy Rose was going for whenever she countered something, but then she ended up in a split and then Carmella kicked her. I'm like, what was what were you going to do there? What was the outcome if Carmella was going to kick her?
It's all for Carmella's super kick. It's all about the super kick.
That's exactly what it was. This whole match was just to set up for Sonya to come and distract, and this whole spot was set up for Carmella to get her super kick, which looks great, by the way.
It sounds the best, is what I love.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah.
It does sound the
it
best.
just sounds like it hurts so badly. I love the match because Carmella is my girl.
Yeah.
I was thinking about you.
Carmella is obviously who I'm rooting for. But it was good because Carmella wasn't distracted with Sonya at all. She wasn't distracted with Carmella or with Sonya at all. Sonya was out there. And by the way, I'm loving Sonya's mic work. I'm loving Sonya as this villainous heel. It's just really good. But the match itself was good. I mean, it was a distraction because Sonya was kind of just there. But I think it's hilarious. What is she going to do next? How is she going to get under Mandy Rose? Because the one thing that's very interesting with this storyline is Sonya goes from being kind of obsessed with her partner to now being obsessed with fucking with Mandy. Because before, remember at Royal Rumble, she was like, I will throw myself over the top rope for Mandy, and now it's she's ready to destroy her.
I feel like the whole plan of this whole storyline was to make Mandy Rose a star, but I think Sonya Deville is the one that's being made a star. She has great mic work, great like presence. Like she's acting like she's legit pissed off at her former best friend. So as you know, a woman who's pissed off is gonna go and fuck with you or mess with you and do whatever they can. So it was actually like a really good idea for her to come out and just kind of promo during the match, because that's not a DQ. That's not going to get her thrown out necessarily. It's just going to be super distracting. Like, that makes sense. Like, why don't most people do that? I actually do think it's making Sonya Deville more of a star than
totally. She's such a star. She's so good. She continues to be great on the mic. Like, she was just so perfectly annoying when she was keep talking over commentary. I was like, is she going to stop? And she was like, I'm going to stop. And then she started talking again. I was like, oh my god, this is so annoying, so good. I almost saw the glimpse of Psycho Victoria and like crazy Mickie James.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the star power right here.
Yeah, because there's like a weird obsession like with those characters that they played. They were like psycho obsessed. So I feel like that's kind of very reminiscent of what Sonya's doing. So
that's a good point. Yeah. That's a good looking out thing that you did there. And I think it's so like intriguing because it's kind of like hard, but it's a lot of different layers to play that character and to play that storyline, to go from like the obsessive that goes further and further.
Those type of characters, my favorite. Yeah, and just the fact that she brought up the whole last year's Money in the Bank. I forgot that she basically gave Mandy her spot. I forgot about that.
Yeah, like this has been like a theme with her. Like, oh, Mandy. And I'm kind of hoping, or I've always been hoping that the lesbian storyline was going to come out of them, but it hasn't come yet. I'm still hoping for it. Because I was in love with your ass or something. I don't know. I know.
Well, if it goes full on Mickie James, it might go there, but in like the right way.
Yeah, like what this was supposed to be when with Liv and Lana.
If I was gonna see a lesbian storyline, I would much rather see Sonya and Mandy as opposed to Lana and random Liv. But
yeah, like I want a real lesbian.
And I love Sonya's. I'm guessing it's her new finisher where she just basically it's like a shining wizard on the back. I really liked it.
Really cool. Now that you said that, I didn't realize how new that was. I was like, has she been doing that forever? But it looked really cool.
She had this horrible finisher that looked like she was getting DDT'd by someone. So I'm glad that freaking finisher is done.
I was reading something and somebody called her the Pride Fighter. I'm like, ooh, I love that.
I like that. But my biggest concern with this whole story is that Mandy, like you, Paloma, said, she looks so lost during the entrance. She's like now a face. She's a genuine girl, but then she has to do all these like goddess stuff. That didn't really connect with me. And then even when Sonya was attacking her and she was selling the attack, she just seemed kind of like lost.
Do we think like this is not the storyline she is interested in, or she doesn't know how to sell it, or it's the acting? I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it too, but yeah, she looks very disconnected.
I think her character is more easier to be portrayed as a heel as opposed to a face. So maybe that's where like the disconnect is. Or maybe she just doesn't have the experience of working as a face. Because being a face, honestly, is just the great selling. That really is. Super old school Ricky Morton reaching for the crowd, telling people like, help me and stuff like that. That sympathy behind you from the crowd. But I mean, obviously there's no crowd. I don't know. Maybe she'll work on it more and have practice being a face, because I'm a terrible face. I'm always a heel, so whenever I'm a face, I'm just like a cheerleader, like, let's go. My chair just dropped, by the way.
Mandy's interaction with Otis, that I think is pretty natural. I like the role she's playing. She's not just a girlfriend who needs help. I really like that chemistry, but something with Sonya and Mandy, especially how explosive Sonya is, Mandy's just not giving it back to Sonya. So I just feel like, oh, there's something missing. So I do want Mandy to step it up.
I don't know, maybe because they're best friends in real life too. Who knows?
Let's move to a backstage segment with Tamina. By the way, have you been seeing all these amazing videos that Tamina has been producing?
Yes, it's hilarious.
I have.
What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Punch Bailey in the face. And I think it really says a lot whenever somebody commits more to their character outside of what is asked about them. Because she's doing this in her free time. It's not like WWE's producing this or, have a film crew out there. So it's kind of cool that she's doing this on her own free time, thinking of ways to keep her in the forefront of stuff. And I hope that creative or whoever's in charge sees that as her taking initiative.
Like, to me, that interview was fine. It was simple. It was good. It was to the point. But just compared to everything she's been putting out on social media, it was just so little. So I was just a little disappointed because they were so good. They should have just aired all of it because it was so freaking good. Sasha came and she was like, think about our unity. Think about our team bad days. Fake nice thing. And then Bailey and Sasha start attacking Tamina. And out of nowhere, Lacey Evans came to help Tamina out.
Which is such an odd pairing. First of all, what was really cool about that segment was that even though Sasha was giving her the whole hoopla and stuff like that of like, oh, team bad, no one cares. It was like she knew like Bailey was coming to like sneak up on her because it was like she turned around instantly and then grabs Bailey. What I think is odd, I'm like, why is Lacey still popping up trying to help Tamina? Like what's going on here?
It ended up being more about Sasha and Lacey Evans than Tamina or Bailey, who's actually having a match this weekend.
So it's like still the build up with Sasha. It's like just give us that match. Give us Sasha versus Bailey. Let's do it.
I mean, they've been teasing it for so long. It better be freaking good.
But I am interested to see what's going to happen with Tamina.
I'm excited. I really want her to just win, to be honest, because I think it's her time.
Like, can we get some good Tamina? Like, if you're going to give us Tamina, can she actually be useful? Like, no more early Royal Rumble eliminations. Like, no more just super kicks and then, frog splashes. What does she do? She jumps off the rope. Yeah, the splash. And it's just like, can we get something? Obviously, she's not good on the mic. So we're trying to figure out where this monster comes from. But it's like, can we give her something?
I mean, I don't know. I think all her segments on Instagram shows like a whole different picture for me when it comes to Tamina's ability. She's actually a really likable and friendly person, it seems like, even on Total Divas. So if they find a way to still show her as a threat, but also tap into that comedy part of Tamina, I think there is gold there.
I agree. Like, she's always so sweet anytime it's not that character that we see behind the stage or like, WWE. So yeah, I want to see more. I just want to see more from Tamina.
Let's move to Raw. But before we do, I just have to show off this amazing t-shirt.
I was wondering what it said. I was just reading it. I was like, periodic table.
It's a women's wrestling periodic table all the way from Fabulous Moolah all the way to like Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair.
Like,
amazing.
So current. I love that.
I think there's like Chrissy Vane somewhere. And it says Tori's sister? Because that was a rumor. But anyway.
You did such a great job.
Tori Wilson.
Tori Wilson. I was like, okay.
So this is on our Teespring, so go check it out. Let's move to Raw. So Raw, we saw a huge MVP lounge with Asuka, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler. And I just have to say, I freaking love Asuka. My love just grows every week.
Comedic genius. She is hilarious.
Seriously. She comes up with lip syncing, so amazing.
For Nia Jax after what happened last week on Raw.
My favorite thing that she's been saying, or that she said in that segment, was easy peasy, easy peasy. I'm like, oh girl, okay. We get it. Funny, and then everything is about Kyrie. Like, she's still going hard for the Warriors. She's really blossomed. I always thought she was like, okay, yeah, like we need to beat her, like slay the dragon. Then the dragon was slayed, and now we get like this totally comedic side. Like, the internet blew up when she was on commentary that they had.
It even like went into like mainstream media for a little bit. Like even people who aren't into like wrestling were talking about it and sharing it.
Yeah, they were like, my friends who don't watch wrestling were like telling me, yeah, like, did you see the Asian girl with the pink hair? I was like, okay, yeah, now you guys pay attention, right?
Even her lip sync was so good, and Shayna's reaction to it was just gold.
Yeah.
Shayna really does stick to her guns with the character that doesn't want to be there. One obviously wants to be there, but like she's just over it all.
Yeah, like she couldn't be bothered.
Don't say nothing to her. Don't even look her way, because it's gonna come at you with an eye roll, and then she's gonna put in her mouthpiece and probably f you up.
And I think the reason why she does that so well is because that's kind of like her, but like up to like 11, like up the volume up to 11. She really like is honed into her character.
But did you guys know that Shayna is a cage fighter?
No, I never heard it before.
It's like her as a cage fighter, and then Britt Baker as a dentist. It's like every single episode. You gotta know.
She needs to remind you because, she thinks these girls are idiots. And I love that we're getting this, like, now that we're getting into it, where she's just like, she goes like that when Asuka talks. She's like, it's all talk. And it's funny because Asuka does a lot of talking nowadays, so it's just funny that she did that. I was just like, oh, are you annoyed? Good. Good. You should be annoyed. Sit down.
Opera non verba.
Well, Shayna said opera non verba.
What's that mean?
I looked it up. It says talking with action.
stupid.
Okay.
Shayna thinks she's just so smart.
What did you think of Nia Jax?
I am loving the return. I'm glad she's back. I know she caught a lot of flack for kind of manhandling Kyrie. I really am hoping that we get like some dominance. I really want a showdown between her and Shayna. That's who I'm really paying attention to in this Money in the Bank ladder match, is them two, really. And Asuka too, but I really feel like I haven't seen them two face off. And since she's kind of just running through, and she already ran through them, so it's like, what is going to be her obstacle in this match, really? And I'm not even trying to like talk about her weight or anything like that. I know she struggles like getting on the top turnbuckle, so it's going to be interesting to see Nia climb a ladder and like be up there with the girls kind of like battling for it. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, like Nia's kind of giving me what she's always given, right? Like kind of not over it, but she just thinks she is so untouchable. She just thinks she's just like, I guess the irresistible force is what her thing is, but it could be a little more sometimes, though. She could give us a little more. She's a little reserved.
I also didn't like how just her being tipped over in the chair basically took her out for the wrestling. She's a wrestler. She takes bumps. Like that should have kind of like threw her off a little bit, but not like it wasn't like a devastating move or anything. So I didn't like that.
She hit it and then knocked out.
Totally, I'm like, okay, like that kind of diminished who she is. It's like, okay, she didn't take any crazy move, but I just want more from her. Like she needs to reach down in there and just pull it out and be mean and intense. I just needs a little bit more like sriracha or something. I don't know. I just something.
Some flavor. Yeah.
It was a go home show for the Money in the Bank, and 3 of them are the core parts of it. I like the idea of having them like wreak havoc on a talk show, but then it was just like like nothing really happened. The action was very minimal, so I was kind of sad about it.
I do kind of like how in the Money in the Bank they're focusing like the 3 Raw girls have their own little mini storyline. It's going to be interesting when they get involved with the SmackDown girls. So I kind of like how they have like their own little thing going on.
Who are you guys banking for? Like, who do you guys think is going to win this match?
I don't know. As long as it's not Shayna, I'll be very happy. And to be honest, I'm at the point where I just want Dana Brooke to win this. Like,
I think
honestly,
I think we're gonna get surprising.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would shit my if Dana won. Enjoy, because I love Dana. I've been rocking for her. The video games, I always love paying Dana Brooke. And you always root for the underdog, somebody who doesn't get enough shine. That's like what we're talking about with Tamina. I really hope Dana can snatch out a win. Give us a stiff senton, mama.
Yeah.
And I think she's one of those that like needs the win, like Shayna, Asuka, even Nia to an extent, like doesn't necessarily need the win.
Yeah,
I think if Dana Brooke gets this, she definitely will elevate her to where she should be.
From the SmackDown side, if that's who's going to win it, I'd like to see Dana. And if we're going with Raw, I would like to see Nia win, only because I want the story to rehash with Becky and Nia.
Oh, yeah.
Your face. That's what I've been waiting for. I was like, that's who I want to
see.
We
all have, I think.
Yeah, only reason I'd want to see Nia win this match. And plus I'm tired of seeing Shayna run through everybody. I'm like, we get it. We get it.
Honestly, as long as it's not Shayna, I'm fine with it. I think even Asuka will be interesting, especially how comedic she is. I think she's gonna do great with like using Money in the Bank briefcase. I think it'll be really fun. She'll be like, I think it'll be fun. Let's go to Charlotte Flair promo. She came in and she was like, I am the hardest working woman in any industry.
Any industry.
Not even the medical frontline workers right now.
She is essential. She is right now. She's an essential bitch.
She's basically out here to promote the Io Shirai match, which I'm very pumped up about.
Me too.
Me too.
We like Io, and I adore Charlotte. She plays. It's getting better and better each week. Like, I'm pretty sure people are tired of seeing her, but I'm like, she does this so good.
Yeah,
she does this so good. Like what comes out of her mouth and the cockiness and the smile. I'm like, oh, it's just so good. It's so annoying, but it's so good too.
And you believe her. Like, you don't think that she's playing this or reading off of this. You believe her. Like, she's the queen. Like, and she knows it too. So I really like Charlotte too.
And she will let you. It's like kind of like the thing with Shayna Baszler talking about she's a cage fighter. It's Charlotte always letting you know she's the queen. And I love that she's totally going off the Ric Flair thing and being like, yeah, and like owning it and just being like that bitch and being like, oh, what are you going to do about it, Liv?
Yeah.
And Liv was like, this was a really good match for them. But Charlotte's mic work is just really good.
And I'm so glad that she acknowledged that, as somebody else mentioned, her being Ric Flair's daughter and being born with the silver spoon in her mouth, because you do hear that all all the time. It's so repetitive. They're like, somebody else say something about it. So I'm so glad that she actually like recognized it. Like, oh, like here's somebody else saying the same thing again. It's not like I haven't heard that before. So I'm glad that they recognize that.
Yeah, what do we think of Liv Morgan's promo? She came in all very cute.
I love it.
They're
playing on her age. They're really giving her this millennial wrestler vibe and stuff with finding myself and I don't know what I'm doing, like, you know, going off that lesbian storyline. So it's like all tying in together that she's kind of on this journey of figuring out who Liv Morgan is, when in reality we're kind of already getting it, you know. I really like it, and I like that Charlotte and her were able to have this banter and stuff like that, like okay, you know, like it was very funny. It was very funny to me. I was like, all right, girls, you did that.
I love the callback because last match Liv had before coming back was with Charlotte, when Liv Morgan out of nowhere just challenged Charlotte for a match, and after that match she was like, I'm gonna find myself again.
Charlotte was right, and when I come back I'm gonna be real.
So I did like that callback of like bringing that moment back, and she was like, oh yeah, that's why she had this whole transformation. So I did really like it. But let's go into the match.
Yes, the match. I thought like Charlotte was just gonna kick her in the face and like put her in the figure four and then be like, we're done. But no, it was a really good, challenging match. Like she put up a good fight, which is good. Like we knew off the bat that Liv wasn't gonna win, but it was the question was like, is she gonna put up a fight? Which made her look really good. Like commentating was like, big props to Liv Morgan. That's great for your career, which is what I was really happy about. Like, we didn't get, what's her finishing move called? Oblivion?
Oblivion, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get it though. Charlotte blocked it. I was like, oh, I love seeing it. It's so good.
For sure. I really love her finisher too. And I think it would have been what you thought it was going to be originally, Logan, the whole like get a kick and that's over, if Liv hadn't been doing so good these past few weeks.
Right.
But Liv has definitely been stepping up. I mean, even from her last match with Charlotte when she randomly challenged her to now, it's completely different night and day. I think that's like the reason why it was competitive is because she has stepped up her game and she has really like, I think, worked hard to become a better wrestler, and you could actually see it. So I think that's kind of cool. And also like I think I'm totally biased to the women who come from like indies, obviously me being an indie wrestler myself, so whenever it's always like a dancer or like a non-wrestling background, I'm just like, oh, they'll never like be as good as the indie girls. But Liv has definitely proved me wrong. Like she definitely stepped her game up and is really working on it, and it seems like she really wants to improve, not just like getting by with it, like these are my moves and that's it, but I think she really wants to become better. So, and this really showed. I enjoyed the match.
I freaking loved it. Liv Morgan definitely showed up, and what Charlotte does in the ring, just the way she tells a great story in there, I think it's just undeniable at this point. Internet was upset. They said Liv was buried.
Oh, not buried. I don't think she was
The internet loves using buried, and they think they're cool and inside. Oh, look at me using industry terms. She's on WWE TV wrestling. How nobody's getting buried. Like, I'm super hot about this, I guess. People's perception of being buried is insane. What are you talking about? I had no idea I was this passionate about it.
I love it. Like, go off. Like, you better tell these kids.
For real.
Like, buried.
No. If anything, it made her more of a star and pushed her because she could hang with Charlotte Flair. And also, like, everybody's like, oh, Charlotte Flair gets all these opportunities, and so she's always getting pushed. Yeah, have you seen her? Like, she can work, she has great mic work, her character's done. And I would understand that if she wasn't good, but the bitch is good.
Yeah.
So.
Good. It's no different than the guys. It's really no different than what they do for the men. It's like we always have those token guys that they're always going to push no matter what, like Brock Lesnar or something like that. As annoying as it is, they're always going to give us good content, and that's what Charlotte's doing, and that's what we need. What the hell? Let it be.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense for Charlotte to lose here because she has a championship to defend against Io Shirai. So what does that even mean if she loses here? So I think it was like natural for her to win this. And also Liv had a great showing. So I think it was overall very good. And I think it's really refreshing seeing all these like new talent in this quarantine time. So Sonya Deville is really stepping up. Liv Morgan is really stepping up. It feels refreshing to see all these new talent.
I just hope it stays that way once everything comes back to normal, whatever the new normal will be.
Yeah.
But I hope they keep on this trajectory of keep on pushing it.
Totally.
I want something from Bianca Belair now that she goes.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Raw. She goes to Raw. So what are we gonna get? Like, maybe this is just a maybe speaking wishful thinking. Maybe a SmackDown girl will win and take all the drama to Bayley, and Bianca can somehow slide in and get her Becky match.
Yeah, honestly, Raw is so densely populated. Nia, Shayna, Asuka. There's Bianca, Liv Morgan, who's also vying for championship. There's Natalia. That place is so dense. They gotta figure out ways to showcase all of them.
Tag teams. We need more of these girls like fighting
A
for the
stable.
Yeah.
I feel like that, the last even close to thing was the Riot Squad. And it was only 3 people, but why not try a 2, 3 or 4 women stable thing going on? I don't know.
The Iconics can come back. We don't know. Aren't they coming back?
Oh, they better.
The Iconics are coming back repackaged.
Yeah.
They're going to come back the same. They keep
they come back and it's like, Iconic! And it's like, okay.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching this week's review. Logan, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at LoganZass. It's LoganZass.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Paloma Star and on Teesprings and Pro Wrestling, for my Pro Wrestling Tee store. Pro Wrestling. You can just find me on Pro Wrestling.
And this weekend is Money in the Bank, so if you want to tune in for our live streaming of Watch Party, you can call in. It'll be fun. Join in. And you can find me at DSGN and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. Alright, bye!